What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kpop Kimchi podcast, your number one podcast for girl groups with the number one fanboys. I'm your host, Justin Turnell, with my co-host, Brian Limper. And it was week 3
of Boys Planet.
Boys Planet. Number one Boys Planet podcast. Maybe? Probably.
Might be the only one. I don't even know if I've ever
I
seen
haven't seen another Boys Planet podcast, so we're the best Boys Planet podcast in the world.
Say that 5 times fast.
Exactly.
Although I haven't seen a lot of Boys Planet content anywhere.
I don't know if we're just... I don't know. I haven't either.
Maybe we've just...
Which is okay, because no spoilers.
Too much New Jeans stuff. So
Too much girl groups.
My feed's clogged up with not Boy Planet stuff.
The algorithm is just
playing
OMG dance videos.
I mean, I get a lot of those.
All the time.
But I also actively look those up. So,
so it's kind of just a double-edged sword at that point. But yeah, we watched Boys Planet episode 3.
We did. It was cool though because they finally got into like doing performances and stuff.
It's our favorite time of the elimination show because they do performances, but it's also our least favorite time because it takes forever.
And oh my goodness, this episode was long.
It was a long one.
Like,
how long was it?
2.5 hours.
It was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that.
It was almost an entire
It was
Avengers
pretty much
movie.
how long it takes for us to go from right here to the hot place in near Chicago.
This was longer than watching Ant-Man yesterday.
Exactly.
That's 2 days ago now. But
yeah. It was definitely... Yeah, it really was. It was definitely longer than that.
I don't know. But for those who don't remember last week, they did their little reevaluation thingy to see who was going to do the center stage and the little lineup for 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, whatever's going on.
Yep.
For the Here I Am performance thing, for their like little intro song for the show.
Yep.
And pretty much the show was long because it started out with that at the beginning of it.
Yeah, they kind of picked back up.
So they were judging whoever was going in and redoing their... It's not really a process, but they're doing their like dance and sing so they can get evaluated, right? And to see if they stay where they're supposed to be at. Now, it was weird because I guess they went into 2 different rooms and like they're split up, and 2 judges judged them on one thing and the other judges judged them in the other room. And then after they all got reevaluated, they got reevaluated and a lot of guys got moved down.
Yeah, some people moved star positions,
which is kind of weird. So they like had the individual judge judging them, and then they had all the judges reevaluating their videos to make sure they didn't like miss anything.
Yeah.
And then because of that, a lot of people got moved. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's like, why not just do that to begin with? But
yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. Is like, I guess they wanted to double check, but you couldn't just have all the judges watching the beginning.
And the thing that's weird about it too is like, usually they kind of make a big deal about the whole Here I Am performance thing, because that's like the main thing of the show, like at the beginning, you know? But once I actually did the performance thing for it, or shot it on whatever it was, Mnet, whatever they were doing,
yeah,
they kind of just skimmed over that pretty fast. Like, they really didn't cover too much.
The whole process of setting it up took way longer than the actual process of doing it.
So the show really consists of seeing the beginning, or hearing the beginning of Here I Am like 400 times a year.
Once we figured out who was like the center,
which is Hanbin.
It was Hanbin, who is number 1 right
now. He's
like
the most popular guy on the show.
Everyone really loves him. I haven't really seen it yet. He's been good, but haven't really seen number 1 material yet. But he got like the center.
Yeah.
And once they did that, they kind of showed them running through the actual taped performance, and then it was done. It looks really cool. Still haven't heard the actual song from start to finish.
No, we just saw them do the little dance performance thing.
But it kind of showed them filming, and then it showed where everyone kind of was position-wise, and that was that. It looked really dope.
And then he was number 1, and he got like lifted in the middle.
Yeah, like lifted even higher. It was almost like a layered cake type deal. But they always do a cool job with like the, I guess like pick me type stages. They've done it ever since IOI. But it was cool. But yeah, you're right. Once they were done with it, we were like, all right, moving on. Everyone just kind of like brushed it off. We're like, all right, done.
I'm pretty sure at this point in time, it's pretty much a safe bet. Like everyone else who's ever been the center thing, he's gonna make it in the final group.
Yeah, that's 100% fact, right?
And everybody like loves him. So.
He's just been number 1 the whole time. I don't know.
I mean, he's not like bad or anything.
No,
He
he's
just doesn't,
good.
blow
He's
me
good.
away.
It's just I just like other people more. But I mean, how many does this happens? It just happens. You're like, I don't see it. I don't see it, and then
Bahia's and
then you're
Kepler,
just like, I don't
what you
know.
gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. But they started out with that, and then we got into.
You know, I was thinking about it. Did they have one of those in Kepler?
What do you mean?
A one center person? Because I don't think they did.
You know what? I do not remember.
Because I remember it opened up with like the little like teaser performance things, and each little group had their own number one person.
They each had the one person.
Because Diane was Korea's one.
Was Diane shouting?
Shouting was China's, and then Japan's was
Who was from
Hikaru.
Was it Hikaru?
Yeah.
Didn't even remember that.
And they were all number one.
So they each did their own.
Yeah, because I don't think they did like a whole one where they just had like one number one. If they did, I don't remember.
Which this one they didn't they have like two?
But their whole thing was like three.
The way
Girls'
that
Planet was all
Girls'
kinda
Planet was
crazy.
set up was crazy. Like whoever decided to like plot that out was.
I'm gonna Google it right now. I think
I don't
you're right.
remember
them having one number one person.
I don't either. I guess if I had to guess, it would have been Diane or Shouting, but I think you're right. They did like 3 different ones.
Let's see.
Maybe not. I don't know. It was.
I just know that there was 3 different ones. I just don't remember there being like one.
They were really like
main
in Girls' Planet. They were really about like Korea, Japan, and China, and it was like all the separate different.
Okay, so it looks on the thing. It says there's a performance of OOO.
Yeah.
And it said by the Korean group, the center was Kim Daeon. And then there's another version that was released for the Chinese group and another one that was released. So they must have had 3.
So they all had 3 different ones. Yeah.
Which I remember that. I just because I was thinking about the history of it. I know Yoonjung was in Weki Meki. She was in ILI. Then KD was in 101, obviously, and he's by himself. And then we had.
Was Sakura the one for?
I'm pretty sure Sakura was the one for Produced 48, and she was in Eyes One. Don't know who the one was in X One. I'm pretty sure he made the group. So if you guys know who that was, I mean, their group lasts like.
I don't know how he wouldn't have made the group.
2 minutes, so I don't.
You're right though, because I don't remember in Girls' Planet them having like the battle for number one because they had 3 different ones.
I don't even remember what. It wasn't even Boys' Planet. It was Produce. Is it Produce X? Produce X1?
I don't even know what that one was called.
Let's see.
Because Produce 48 was Eyes One. Produce 101 was the girls and guys, right? Weren't they both? So what was that produce
It was
called?
Sun Dong-pyo of DSP Media.
Good job, dude.
I have no idea who that is.
Good job, dude. Hey, congrats to him. Congrats to that guy.
Whoever that guy is, he has made the group.
You did it. And then you were in a group
Watch us said all this, and I'm like looking up right now who didn't even make it.
First elimination.
First round.
He just really fooled people.
Just was not good.
So
So if anyone's listening to this and you know if he made it, I guess, well, I'm looking up now, but you can comment and tell me.
But didn't they have 2 this time, but Hanbin was like the 1-1?
Yeah, he
got to be like the center, but there was like another one.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys realize this by now if you're watching any of this. Literally the whole concept of the thing is Korea versus like the rest of the world.
Which is like, yeah.
Which, I mean, that's how the voting
That's how Girls' Planet wasn't, but it's what it turned out to be.
Pretty much, yeah.
So now they literally were just like, all right,
Now
we're
it's
going to
literally
throw all
just
the
that.
other countries and just Korea. So it's like
on this one, there's like a number 1 from Korea and then number 1 from G
G
Group.
Group, which is the rest of the world.
And then, of course, Korea won, so Hanbin got to be the
I
center.
don't remember who the G Group person was.
And this guy also did make it into X1, so.
All right, so he's Hanbin, 100% chance, or 100% making it into whatever their group is
He
called.
finished in 6th place.
All right.
So, I mean, at this point,
Yeah, you don't have to
Yoojung
win.
made it,
You're just
KD
in.
made it, this dude made it,
Shots and
Sakura
Diane
made it,
and
all 3 of the members
the Girls'
made
Planet
it.
girls made it.
So, I mean, you're pretty much
put your money on
guaranteed
Hanbin.
it.
He's going to make it.
And like I said, from everything we've seen, everyone that's been voting, your people talk about or anything, they all like. I've had a couple people comment on our videos and stuff, and they all like them. So I mean, it's
more power to you, man. You got 9 spots, and that should be one of
so
them.
we got 8 spots left.
Good job, Hanbin. Congratulations. You're in whatever the group's going to be called.
Yeah, I wonder. We need to have a brainstorm session, see if we can come up with what the name of this group.
Hopefully, it's better than
Kepler.
Kepler.
It's weird now. It just sounds normal.
Well, I was gonna say, in all the time in K-pop, we have things that are just crazy sounds. And we're like, "What the heck is this?" But then after just paying attention to it and liking it, whatever. It's just normal. Like,
Yeah,
it's
just
like,
like-
oh yeah, Kepler, sure,
Sure.
that's the group.
But yeah, so they did that. They discovered he was the center. They like flew through that, which I kind of surprised by because all the other shows they like spend a whole bunch of
They
time on
usually
it.
put a little more importance on it.
But then we got into the fun part where they have like them splitting up into groups,
Yeah.
and then they're picking which songs they want to perform. And of course, it's a head-to-head battle between G group and K group. So they both. So essentially, you have a group of K members and a group of G members. They're gonna do like one song. One of the songs that they did already was "Very Nice" by 17.
Yep, that was the first
So,
one.
if you've seen any other elimination shows, they essentially do the same thing, except the groups are picked randomly. They're not split up by, all Koreans or all other guys.
All right.
So they're going to go head to head, and then they have a ranking system, and you see, like, who was the best main vocal, who was whatever. Then there's, like, an accumulated score, and it's like either Korea's going to win or G group's going to
Yeah,
win.
it's just
Essentially
like
what it is.
it's a head-to-head of every position.
Which is kind of what they do every year,
Yeah.
or every season.
Yeah.
Now, the way that they pick the teams, I mean, I get it makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of unfair because they went off the rankings of the most viewed, I guess, solo fan cams of the members,
Yeah.
right? So the number one most viewed person, of course, was Huey.
Yeah. We're still calling him that.
But it's the thing that's kind of unfair about it is we already knew going into it. If you're going off of that, he's going to be number one because that's the only one everybody knows, so they're going to watch the
He
video.
already has so many fans, so he's gonna get he's always gonna be up there.
So even if
all the
you're a
time.
really good dude, like performing wise and on the show, you might be a trainee no one's heard of, so they're not going to watch your videos. You're already at a disadvantage in that manner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
there's
yeah.
no way you're ever going to get ranked high in that because they don't know who you are.
Well, that was why. I mean, again, not to hate, but I remember they did something like that with Girls Planet where the views came into play, and Bahia was
Dominated it.
she was so good,
And I'd never heard of her.
And we knew who she was, but she was never super impressive.
Well, I just meant before the show, I had no idea who she was, so I'd never been able
But
to
it's
watch
just
a video.
It's she's a lot of fans of her brother were probably tuning in to check that out. So she had a lot of views, and we're like, whoa, this person, we didn't really know, but she had a ton of views. So
And it's not only that, but she had her own fandom of people before that they even started the show.
yeah, I mean,
So she was already kind of popular. I don't know how, but she was.
Yeah, Hui being in a freaking group that was really popular, or I don't
Or
know.
Kita was in Cypher, so people knew who he was, so they were looking him
They're
up.
gonna get views. So yeah, that's how they judged on who was getting
The first pick.
the first pick of your whole group too. It wasn't even like a normal draft where you have
Yeah, no, it was kind of weird. I don't...
let's say you'd have whatever number of groups and there'd be the first person in each group. You'd go down the line and one picks first, one picks you each have your first pick, you each have your second. It's usually how a draft kind of works. But this one, the first person picked their whole team. The second person picked their whole team. So you could imagine you could get some really crazy groups.
I don't remember what one we were watching. It might have been Girls Planet. That they kind of did it the same way.
Yeah.
They it was just the number one person got to pick whoever they wanted. Because we were why would you not just pick the best people? Because that would make complete sense.
That's how...
Was it Girls Planet maybe? I don't think it was Produce or Idol School. It might have been Girls Planet. I don't remember. But yeah, there was one where they had a contest thing and then the number one person picked whoever they wanted.
Pick all the people. Yeah, because then they're always the Avengers.
But it's weird because normally you know what song you're doing and then you pick the people for the thing. And this they made their groups and then they picked their song afterwards.
Yeah.
Except for one group they didn't, but that was because that was already predetermined. But
yeah,
so Huey was number one. So we basically got to go up and he was like, okay, I'm going to pick these guys. Okay, that's one group. No idea what they're performing. Then the G group number one guy picked his guys and so on and so on. And the ones that were left over,
going down, yeah,
all got put on one group. The group of unwanted people went on one
Which
group.
there's always that group too, the misfits.
Then they went and they picked which songs they were going to perform. And there was Very Nice by 17 was one of them. What was the... I guess I got
Backdoor was one.
Backdoor by Stray Kids
Kill
was
This
one.
Love was one.
By Blackpink.
There was a 101 song.
And
then
Burn It Up. And then there was
an EXO song.
Danger by BTS.
Oh yeah, that was one too.
And then Love Me Right by EXO.
Yeah.
Now, there was one group that, for some reason, it was uneven, which I don't understand. I guess there's only 99 of them there, or 98 of them or something. I don't know, it was weird.
A couple of the groups had that one left person.
But one G group had to have like one more person because of the way that it was set up.
Yeah.
So when it came down to drafting the people in the K group, the one that drafted the 5 members automatically got the Blackpink song because that for some reason was predetermined.
That was like the 5-person one, I guess, or just like I don't know. They already like were getting it.
But I know it was one group was the Blackpink Kill This Love group. And that, I mean, it was a really stacked team of bros, dudes, whatever you want to call them. And they were dubbed the Avengers of this season. There's always an Avengers. Most of the time they lose. But,
ever since the first one, there always is.
But that was Kwanji, Kita, Min, Matthew, Zihao, and Jang Ho.
Stacked team.
And it was like a really good team. I was like freaking out. It's funny though, because like they're like, also, I'm probably just butchered all those names except for Matthew, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll see.
They, we're like, oh, they're Avengers, they're unbeatable, how are we ever going to beat them? And then there's literally a group of, like, the very last people to get picked who apparently just plotted this whole thing for hours. And then they go and like, wow, they're going to be really hard to beat. I don't know if they can beat them. I'm like, didn't you just say the other team was the greatest team ever?
It's just weird.
Like,
every team's like, I don't know how we're going to beat that team against, like, any of the other
And it's
teams.
only, like, the scrubs that nobody
wanted.
wanted.
The last people are like, wow, they're very talented. Like, they're strong. Like, what?
Like, I don't know how you guys determine this.
I guess
it's like
they
a
are.
lost in translation thing, but
sure.
Yeah. So that happened. And then, of course, the least favorite part of any show ever is, like, the montage of them training for, like, hours. Like, this is literally...
We're over it.
We've watched a ton of these things. Like, we've seen so many.
We're over it. We get it, guys. Let's fast forward.
And then, I mean, I'm sure people listening to this, I know there's some people listening to this that are really into it, and they, like, love the boys' interactions and stuff. So I'm sure they loved it. But
sure.
even on the girls' ones, I'm so tired of watching, like, the hour-long montages of them practicing and deciding who's doing what positions, because
it just
a lot of the times at the end, it doesn't matter.
It's like it's a 2 hour 45. It's almost a 3 hour show, and it's like you could probably cut some of this stuff out.
Even if they cut out like
some of it, you don't even have to cut out all of it.
If you like cut out the part of them going and like surprising each other and like goofing around for a little bit, and just go to them performing, and then like little montage of them practicing beforehand, like sure, that's fine. Like, but you don't need an hour and a half.
They always have to kind of show the struggles or like. The not butting heads, but like maybe one guy wants the same position as another guy, so they have to kind of like find a way to see who gets it.
And then they're like disappointed, they get butthurt, and they're like crying and moping around.
Sad, and then they have to pick each other up, and then they'll have their little preview in front of the judges before, and they're usually not that great.
The other thing that's crazy to me is like everyone's so shocked when they see this performance. It's like, wow, they're so good. Like this is better than I imagined. Even though they had like 19, 20 walkthroughs before they even went and performed the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like this is like being dropped on them as a surprise or anything.
No, not at all.
Because the other group is literally watching them while they're going through their live on stage walkthrough in their performance uniform outfits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
it's
yeah,
like,
I know.
They know what's going on the whole time. It's not like, oh my god, I've never seen this before. This is crazy.
I don't know why they do that. I have no idea.
But
that is definitely something as a team here we are kind of over, is just like the overplaying of like the practice before. Like, and I get it, but at the same time, we just want to see the performances.
And the other thing that's crazy
performances are always the best, and we want to see who wins the performances.
Is that none of them are ever bad. Well, some guys are not great today, but none of them are like terrible. Like
no.
Most of the stuff that has to do with being bad isn't like the performance itself or the dancing. It's more like vocal stuff.
And
because guys can't hit notes. Or
and honestly,
like,
I feel
voices crack.
I feel like, I mean, we've seen a couple instances with the girls, but this one, I feel like we actually heard more mistakes from multiple people during performances, which we usually don't see. I feel like usually, sometimes, a lot of the times, the groups are both just like really good. So you're like, okay, well, I guess we'll just see who wins. Like, you're not like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna win, these guys are gonna win. I mean. And again, the girls did have some more rough type of performances in Girls Planet, but I feel like this time we did have a couple singing instances where it was very noticeable. You're like, ooh.
And then here's the thing that's crazy.
That was bad.
nobody got scolded for being bad or
Why
dunked
is
on
everyone
for being bad ever. There's literally a guy whose voice cracked multiple times and he couldn't sing the part, and the judges were like, at least he kept going and had a good positive outlook. And I'm like,
there's really weird editing in this show, and I've noticed it from the very beginning, from like the intro stages. It's like guys do bad and they do really, but then the reactions are like amazing, or they're like, wow. It's not even like, oh, he's like, oh, he messed up what he's doing. It's literally like, wow, he's powerful. And I'm like, but it doesn't add up sometimes.
I don't know
like,
if it's just the editing, I don't know what, but they're so much nicer to the boys.
But overall, yeah,
the girls and girls playing it.
And like they
or
say,
any girl show we've ever seen.
They see a couple strict things, but overall they just come back to like, well, they tried, they practiced hard, like, good job, guys.
There's literally a time
and then they just like goof off.
Where dude was bad, and he came back and was still pretty bad, and the guy's like, I can see you've been practicing a lot.
I can see you're trying.
And he was still like terrible.
It just makes me think of like way back when with like Bae Jung, and
she was so
ripping
mean.
the girls apart, just brutal for being not. I mean, they weren't good either, but like, I just will never forget Produce 48 how bad people were and how bad they made them look. It was like
terrible.
Like you wouldn't even understand if they could like walk and chew gum at the same time to walk up the stage and perform. Like you'd be like, they can't even get on stage. But then they would go kill.
Like I don't know if they know how to put their shoes on.
Like that's how bad they would. That's how bad they would make them seem. But this one, everyone's just a little nicer. Everyone's in just like a better mood. We've seen some of the judges that were on Girls Planet on this be like way more animated, way more happy.
They're like goofing around. They're
just
like, wow, that was
laughing.
amazing. Like dancing, like it's crazy.
It's weird. It's just different. I don't know why it's different. I can't really say, but it's noticeable.
I mean, I will say, we did say in one of the first episodes that overall, I feel like a lot of the boys that are good in this are like more polished than the girls were in the girls ones we watched.
Yeah.
But there's still some guys that messed up and they just don't say anything about it.
Oh, there's some guys that are horrible.
Or it's like brush it off.
And they're like, oh, well, that wasn't good, but you're trying hard. Okay, thank you. And it's like...
Still getting A.
And then you're like, they're like still getting screen time and it's like, why?
And then on Girls Planet, it's like, your facial expressions are too hard. That's a failing grade.
Yeah, how are they going to hate on the Love Shot cover by some of the best girls that are on that show and say that they tried too hard when that performance was perfect? What was bad about their performance?
I don't know.
When these dudes are out here butchering notes all the time in front of a live audience and they're like, you had great energy. That's bullshit.
Dude,
you can cut that out.
I'm not cutting it out. I'm leaving.
No, it's just frustrating because it's noticeable, and you're like, why? Like, I don't know. I don't know why they're so nice to them. Like, be mean. Get them off the show. There's just some guys on there annoy me too because they stink, and there's like get all this camera time.
I honestly can't wait until elimination. Because a lot of these guys need to go.
Come on, like they're not good. I get it. Like, come on. Like, not everyone is good on the show.
But then that brings us to the actual performances we got this week, which was not a ton because obviously it never is. In the first 2 hours was taken up by them struggling to pick who's going to be the main, and Matthew not getting assigned anything outside of sub-vocal.
Yeah, he had a rough time trying to get a position. He like tried, center didn't get it, lead vocal, sub-vocal 1, he didn't get any of them, and then he got like sub-vocal 2. But even he, in like their singing practice when they were showing their montage, like kind of butchered his notes a little bit in the warm, like, but he still did okay. And then he's like, oh, "Don't worry about the amount of notes you have. Like, you did really great with what you had."
Here's the
I was
thing
like,
that's
"Where was
crazy,
this
right?
encouragement for
Here's
the
the thing
girls?"
that's crazy. There's literally dudes that were messing up, things were going wrong, whatever, and the judge would be like, "That didn't sound great, but you need to work on this or do this, whatever." There was times on the girls ones, I don't know which show specifically, watch a bunch, where the judges would literally be like, "Who's the main vocal?" And they'd raise their hand and be like, "You need to change positions because you can't do this."
Horrible. And then somehow
Love
Shot was bad. That's so dumb.
Or they'll just be like, "How did you get chosen for this position?" Or like, "Who made this decision?"
Did no one else want this position? Because you have it, and obviously you cannot do it.
Yeah, that's how they be.
There is no one that harsh on.
And then the boys are like, "You know what? It's a little rough. Rest your voice. Sleep tonight.
Go home into the dorm. Go to the dorm and play games with each other and have fun." Which we didn't even get to see the girls do.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more power.
They're just having so much fun in the dorm,
eating candy, eating like.
I want to go be on Boys Planet because apparently it's the best.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's completely different.
Everyone does good, and it's just stupid.
But yeah, anyway. So I don't know. It's kind of the judges are a lot nicer than
because we've had a lot of the same judges, and they're just completely different to me. Like I don't know. Like,
also, I forgot what her name was. The one female judge that's like good at whacking off or whatever she's doing. She's like in love with all of these boys, has never anything negative to say about any of them ever.
And it's just like always really just like, wow, they're so cute. It's like, what?
Like,
aren't you supposed to coach them?
Yeah.
They're always and
like, wow, my heart. Or she's like, oh, let me take your
like,
hand.
oh, beautiful.
Or even like the guys that were bad doing My House, they like turned around and held their hands out. And she's like, let me take
They're
your
like,
hand.
yeah, and they're like standing up. I'm like, what the heck? Get them off the show. These guys stink. And then
one dude was like in love with not Jay. Who's the other guy that was singing?
Well, that's I don't remember.
You don't talk about the coach. He's literally sitting there. Oh, Matthew.
Oh yeah.
He was like sitting there with just like hearts in his eyes.
The one older coach who's like sits in the middle. I don't really remember what he does. He's some kind of singer, but he's kind of older than everyone.
Yeah.
I think he's like a little more distinguished looking.
Yeah.
He like only says the most generic nice stuff.
He does,
and he loves Matthew.
He does
so much. He's like, oh. It's like literally just like Matthew.
He
I'm
did.
What?
He's like in love with them. He loves
them. And he only says super generic, and he's like, wow.
Granted, Matthew's really good, but
no,
he's like in love with
Matthew deserves it 100%. That guy is definitely not bad. But it's just funny seeing the judges' reactions. And the one dude who's the rapper, I don't even know what he does except wear garbage fits. There's a lot of garbage fits from the judges today, too. I was like, what are these people wearing? I hate them all. I just hate them. Ugh, they're too nice to the guys.
They really are. They're soft. They're gone soft.
They have. I really think they have.
Then one guy came in, and what was his name? Little Baby or Baby Boy or Little Baby?
Something it was like Little
that.
Boy.
Little Boy.
Is some guy, I guess he's a rapper. I don't know. They didn't really say. They're like, the new Star Planet coach or whatever.
And he like literally came in, watched him sing, and the only thing he said is, you're by far the best performance that I've seen.
You're like, wow, you were so much... They just started like the most generic stuff, like, wow, you really did well.
Yeah, that was it.
You sound like a professional.
And then the other group went, and they weren't even bad.
No, they're both good.
And Huey was like singing all this stuff, and the guy's only comment was, G Group's better than you.
They're like, G Group's... Well, he was right.
That was like the most harsh thing anybody said on the whole show.
Yeah.
But that was like a whole like 2 hours of the shows, but...
Yeah, just a lot of the filler training stuff, which, you know, it can be fun sometimes, but it definitely hits its point of like, all right, we want to see the performances, because that's always the best.
So then we actually got to the performance stages, and the first one to go was the Very Nice stage for 17. And I got to point this out. I don't know what it is or what's going on in the world right now. Maybe it's because COVID restrictions are over. But in the crowd at the show, there's a substantially larger amount of non-Korean people there than I've ever seen in any show ever.
In any of these shows, yeah. I don't know if they just, like, people traveled there just for this.
But like, I'm talking about, like, there'd be, like, shots of the crowd where all it was like, white people.
And I'm like, what is going on? You could, like...
Which, I mean, they could go. I don't care. But it's just, like, weird. Like,
it's just the visual of it is not what you're like, oh, like, you could have told me that this was filmed in,
like an American Idol,
Angeles.
Los Angeles.
You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense for the, like, big mix of people. And again, it's totally fine, but it's just a little different than... I mean, I feel like the people just really, like, planned for it, I guess, and... I mean, I don't even know how you go to those things.
I don't either.
But it was different for sure.
One thing I did notice, yes.
It's just one of those things from watching these different types of shows that you do. Also, I don't think I saw one guy in the crowd.
If there was, I did not see any.
I didn't see any guys. The Girls Planet, and they always had a mix. There was girls and guys, I'd say, for...
But there was
honestly, I'd say it was like a pretty good mix too.
It wasn't a very large quantity of.
I think it was all girls
to boys.
I did not see any guys in the crowd, which is fine.
This one. Like I said, if there was, I didn't see very many of them. I didn't notice them.
I would go if I could. That'd be awesome.
But back on track. So the G Group 17 team was Kong, Hiroto, Ichika, Jingshang, Oju. Classic Oju, messing things up.
He's just messing up today.
Yechan and Yuki. All those names, I'm pretty sure, are the correct names. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You guys know who we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about. The only person that got kind of bashed for anything was Oju, because
he kind of messed up other times today.
His voice, he couldn't hold the stable.
He was getting a couple 1-2 liners that were pretty kind of harsh actually. Which I was glad.
That wasn't good.
But it's okay. You can do so much better.
But your energy was up, so that's all. I
love your eyes.
Yeah, pretty much. And they went against the K group. That was Woonki, Jiho, Mingyu, Dongyul, Junghyun, Sewon, and Sungun. I'll be honest. half these guys pop up in the shows. I'm like, have you been here this entire time?
There's a lot.
Like,
of guys,
I don't remember.
There's a lot of
you
guys today getting drafted on the teams, and I'm like, who are you?
Like, I've literally never seen you in my
I
life.
don't think I've seen you yet. So way
Like-
to get your camera time.
Like, I get there's like 98 of you, but
I mean, it's a lot of
that
people.
just means that they've not been on the camera, so they're not making the final group.
Right, absolutely.
But out of that one, they kind of had their little. I mean, they both did pretty good.
I thought they were
Neither
both,
one of them was really
I thought
bad.
they were both good stages, like pretty solid. Not perfect, but pretty solid.
And that group was won by the K group.
Yeah, like
Shocker.
pretty handedly.
Yeah.
Won the first stage battle.
Then the next one we had was the Kill This Love by Blackpink stage.
Mm-hmm.
And the G group, which I already said, was Kyunji, Keita, Min, Matthew, Zihao, and Zhang Hao.
Yeah.
And their performance was sick.
They were, spoiler, they are probably my favorite one of the night.
Oh, so good.
I thought they were the best
really
overall
good.
performance we saw of any of the ones tonight, or this episode, I guess.
Then the Korean group was apparently the one that was plotting this from the beginning of
Oh my gosh.
team picks. I don't know. So it makes it seem like they do this in like rapid succession, but apparently there's like cutaway scenes where they can just talk
There's
to each other.
cutaway scenes of what's his name, who everyone loves.
Gunwook?
Yeah, they what was this like Maverick? He called himself like Maverick Top Gunwook or something.
Yeah,
but,
that's something weird.
But yeah, it just showed him plotting with the guy who was going to be the
next guy up
like
at
the
the pick.
like the sort of guy to pick the people, and essentially he's just making the team how he wants to make.
Yeah,
the team.
he's like the guy even said that he's just Gunwook's puppet.
He
Like,
used him as a puppet, and he made the team for him to be the role he wanted to be.
and he was also in the drafting. He was the only 4-star person left.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that speaks volumes about him.
I think it
or
does.
If it means that he doesn't, people don't think he's as good as what people think he is.
I think that definitely is pretty telling.
But they did it. He guaranteed them, if they did Kill This Love, that they would win. Did not happen. But
No.
he did say that.
Yeah,
He's like, trust me, we can do this and we'll win. And they got like all the guys from Jellyfish, like all of his little buddies in the group too.
yeah. Him and his minions couldn't do it. They had
But that was Yesop, Kyunhee, Yeojun, Hwanhee, and Gunwook.
that was one.
I mean, they didn't do bad.
No, that was fine, but that was one where there was definitely not some great singing, but they just showed the reactions, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Like,
wow,
wow,
I'm like,
he killed
like,
it!"
You can
I'm like-
hear that it sounds not good.
I'm like, is he even doing like I don't even know anything about vocals,
and
really.
you can hear that it's
and I'm
off,
just like, this
and
sounds
like,
bad.
or he doesn't have like the range to sing it. There were some vocal parts in there that were not great.
And you see dudes like cheering and giving the thumbs up.
They're like, yeah,
they're like
I'm
shocked.
like, this seems like it's out of place.
And then of course they made it seem like it was gonna be close, but I was like, if G Group doesn't win this, there's like
I
no
was like,
justice in the world.
Way
Like, it's
more,
way
this is the
rigged.
most rigged show ever. If
And of course G Group won.
they won, they won because they should have won, and they were better. They were better than the K Group that time.
Then our last performance we got was the matchup was the G Group for Love Me Right by EXO.
Yeah.
And the last performance we got was the G Group performance because of course it's gonna leave off on a cliffhanger with Huey
this
on
was
it.
this is like the big matchup, or one of the biggest matchups.
And the G Group was Anthony with 2 N's. Don't know how that happened.
Interesting.
Honghae, Haru, Haruto, Jay, Winnie, and Wumutai. No?
What is it?
Is it? It's W-Y or W-U-M-U-T-I. T?
Wumuti?
Wumuti?
Just kind of say it fast.
But, I mean, that team did awesome. That performance was awesome.
They were really
It was
good.
really
They
good.
were really good.
Jay's a great singer.
My gosh, it's just
This man is
that dude
sprung.
that dude can sing, man. He is so. I'm so impressed with his sing. He sings different.
This is
He's-
Jay's number 1 fan.
I really am. I mean, I do think he'll make it, but
I think he will too.
I really love him because he can just like sing, and it like puts pressure on everyone how good he is, and he's like, it's just like effortless. Like
I think the only thing that the judges always complain about with him is his dancing.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah,
Bahia made it into
and
Kpop,
you
so.
can.
And she got called out after she made it.
And his dancing's good, so I don't know.
Yeah, his dancing's like not even bad.
I just
his
you
dancing's
can't
way better
teach
than
how
the
good
thing
he
is.
sings. Like, I think he's like the best vocalist on the show, and you know, he like powered that group through, and then Haruto's really good.
Oh, Haruto's
I really
awesome.
like Haruto.
He's
a lot.
really good.
I don't know if he'll make it or not.
Really good rapper. His voice is like really unique. It
really
sounds
cool
really
rapper.
good. It just flows really good.
He whooped the Korean guy in the little evaluation thing because he's really good rapper, and he's like a really cool. He's a really like funny, good personality kind of dude too. So I don't know if he'll make it, but he's definitely someone we like. But they were good. They were really good.
Yeah, and then like I said, they did really good. Their performance was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then they showed like all the K group. I don't really remember who's in the group right now, but Huey was one of them.
Yeah.
And then like cut away, and everyone was like super sad.
They're pretty much saying
like
he's
someone
bad,
did bad or
like,
something like
he's
this.
Like, oh, my high note was, they make it so doom and gloom for the Korean group, and they show like the weird faces from the judges, which might not even be real. Like, it's just classic Mnet trying to hype it up and make it look like it's a worst case scenario. So I'm assuming the Koreans will do really well and do just fine.
All I gotta say is,
but I don't know if they'll win. I don't know.
Based off the performance from like the G group, K group's really got to be on this one because that one was like flawless.
Like, I don't think it'll be dramatic as what they put because it never is, but they might not win because the G group was really good.
Very good.
And it was, they're just kind of pitting it as like the two great vocalists of Hui versus Jay.
Which is saying a lot because
and
Huey's good.
He's really good too. I mean, he's really
proved
good.
He's really good.
So, but it's just like
Jay's also really good.
It's just like it's just a really good matchup. So we'll see how they are next week.
Also, for the first time in like 2 weeks, we got some screen time for Ricky.
Yeah. No, yeah, because he had barely any screen time, but they showed him at the end, and it's like an unexpected talent. And I was like, if this is like true and the editing is right with they're talking about Ricky, we've been new since the beginning. We're like, this dude is sick. One of our favorite people from the start. Justice for Ricky because he's dope and put him in NCT right now. I hope he makes it. I don't know. He has like got no screen time these last couple days or last couple episodes.
Also, the other funny thing is, like, I don't know. Kata is just like the MVP of like the entire group. He's like
just overall MVP, nice guy.
Yeah, super cool. And he like helped Jay like learn his dance so he could not get demoted. Mm-hmm. And then this episode, they literally had free time and he was teaching other members Korean.
Literally had
like a teacher on his little desk.
And he's like giving people phrases to say. They're like sitting around his little table. I was like, this guy's the best.
Like a spelling bee. He's like, this is how you say how. Use it in a sentence.
He should just make it because he's a nice guy. Like
seriously, like if he gets eliminated,
he can be the one that the judges are nice to all the time. But he's also really great.
He's really good. But he's also in a group previously, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he can tell he knows what he's doing.
Which is funny, because I was telling Justin the other day, I was looking up something, I don't remember what I was looking up. But I remembered us reacting to like their debut last year for Cypher.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the song was, but I remember we watched it and we actually gave it a pretty good rating.
Heck yeah, dude.
And I just remember the video because they were like in Sam's Club.
Yeah. I remember that when you said that, and I was like, yeah, that was a cool video because it was like kind of unique.
So I was like, man, this is pretty cool.
So
that's kind of funny.
So we knew.
The entire time.
We knew. We didn't know, but we knew. But yeah, he's really good. Just definitely like he's got good leadership qualities because he kind of puts others before himself.
He honestly does. He would be like just a great leader.
He's trying. He tries to literally take care of his team and take care of the people around him. Which there you go. That is
even
leadership.
if he made it in as like number 9, he'd still be like a great leader for the youngins out there.
I think. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I don't have a lot of like guarantees yet, but he's definitely getting close. But I don't know because we got a lot of weeks left.
I don't know if I've really seen...
Because you got to have your really good people that don't make it too,
yeah.
So it's sad.
I've really got to say I haven't really seen any people blowing my mind that would have changed like our overall rankings for the last couple weeks.
Not really. And
but we also got a lot of stages left.
We got a lot of stages. Like we have to see it still, so that's what's tough. Is like it's hard to go on the episodes when you don't see everyone go. You know, it's hard to like make new assessments when you still got to see people from that same day go. I don't know. I mean, why would Hui not make it? I'm very confident he would make it. I don't know why he would lose.
Unless he steps down for personal reasons.
You know what? For some reason I feel like I could see that. Just because. And then I feel like Jay is gonna make it too, just cause. just because it's what I want. But
That's what my heart tells me.
I don't know. I just think he's got. I just think he's kind of got a lot of good qualities going on. Other than that, I'm not sure. Everyone wants Eugen to make it.
Yeah, they love that dude.
That dude gets a lot of hype. He's okay so far.
And then he did like his reevaluation. He didn't do very good.
He did not do great.
So
they like made a big deal about him, like, oh, it's time to reevaluate. Blah blah blah. He was sick. He could do it, and then I was like, well, he still didn't do great.
Yeah. Like I mean, it's bad. Like not good.
It was not great. But yeah, that was it. It was an extra long performance episode.
And then next week we'll have an extra long performance episode again. So look forward to that, because boy, we are not looking forward to all of the background information of them struggling. Because not because it's bad, but just because it's kind of not.
We've just seen a lot of it. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, maybe we'll skip through all that and we'll have a 45-minute long episode next week to watch.
That's true. I guess it is online, so you can skip. But no, I thought it was good. We always love the performances, so it's always cool to see those and to see like the head-to-head rankings of each person against each other. That's always nice too.
Because my thing always is like how you get from point A to point B. I don't really care about, and it's like sure, this guy could be terrible in training, kind of like in sports. A guy could be terrible at shooting 3-pointers, but in the game he hits the one 3-pointer that matters and they win. So why does it matter how bad he was previously?
And I really think what kind of
like he struggled, and he can't speak the language correctly. But in 3 seconds worth of lines on the stage, and he killed it. That's all that matters. Like
I really think too is that just like not Girls Planet, Produce 48 just kind of changed that for me, because it was legitimately like so bad to so good. It wasn't even like a believable. Oh, look how much they improved, because they were so bad.
It's almost like they made them sandbag during their practice.
Yeah,
to make
it's
it seem
like,
like they're
all right,
worse
we
than
need to
they
make you
really
guys
were.
look extra horrible, like us two going out there and trying to dance and sing right now, and then it's just like perfect, because that's just. I'm like, okay, come on now.
Like you're going from us going to my backyard and shooting a video to going like freaking BTS performing.
Yeah, and it's just like
on like a huge stage like the United Center.
That's just like what we kind of thought from watching Pro Sport. It was like unbelievable to how much better they improved to get on the stage just because they were so bad. So that's what kind of made me sour to it, where it's like, all right, like we know what's going on here. And they don't even make the guys seem that bad anymore. Even in like Girls Planet, it was like a little better. Like they're not complete train wrecks in practice, but yeah, it just kind of takes a little too long sometimes. Well, we just want to see the performances.
Guess we'll see. Or maybe if they split it into more episodes and weren't 3 hours long, that'd be sick. You know, like a nice hour and a half maybe would be pretty cool.
It's a long, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and that's like straight episode too. That's not like commercials or anything.
No, that's like straight, no filler. That's
longer than a movie. So that's a very, very long show to watch. Which was cool, but again, I feel like there are things that they like overly make dramatic on purpose. But I guess they gotta have people be interested.
Yeah, let us know what you thought. It was good. Let us know what you thought of his performances, because I'm not a choreography expert or performance expert. All I know is
let us know who did the best in your eyes.
What I see with my eyes through all these years of K-pop. So
like I trust our eyes, but I definitely want to hear what other people have to say too.
Comment below.
That does it for episode 3 though.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see you next week. Hopefully the performances are still pretty good.
Hopefully. But until then, I'm JT's Father, and we are the Kpop Kimchi Podcast. We love you guys. Peace.
Later.